Please make 3 prostrations alongside Geshe.
इन्ना कुछ है मैंने
Good morning. Why do we say good morning? Why don't we say bad morning? Why? So this itself is teaching. Huh? I can't hear. To start positive thing. So, like we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, right? So every time you hear this or when you say this, you should remember that it's not enough just to say good morning, but I need to be good. This is Dharma teaching. So 3 times, 4 times, good morning, etc. So this is a reminder, I need to be good. Not enough just to say good morning and then do bad things. ठीक है ना? Second, if you look at your name, everyone has a good name, right? आपका नाम क्या है? हाँ, Norjin. Know the meaning of Norjin? One who is the holder of wealth. आपका नाम क्या है? आपका नाम क्या है? नाम क्या है? हाँ? Jigme? Jigme Gyatso. So Jigme means fearless. Gyatso means ocean. Fearless ocean. Good name. Your name? Huh? Tenzin Hundu. Tenzin means holder. Many of you have the name Tenzin, means the holder of the teaching. And Tenzin Lundu. So Lundu means one whose wish is fulfilled spontaneously. So what I'm trying to say is we all try to get a good name. The parents, the teachers, they will give you a good name, not a bad name. Why? Because you want to be good. Just as when you hear good morning, good evening, I told you how to think positively. Similarly, when people call you by your name, you should think that I should live a life which is befitting the name. ठीक है ना? नाम रख दिया 3 दिन, कम कर दिया शैतान, फिर अच्छा नहीं है ना, मैच नहीं करते है ना फिर. Because if you know how to practice Dharma, everything, the whole world is teaching. Nature is an open book. आपको होना चाहिए अंक दिखने का, right? Everything is open book. Everything is teaching. It doesn't have to be just in one book. You can always learn. So I'm starting with this kind of statement to remind you that the purpose of our life is what? Purpose of our life is what? Happiness. Ab bolo to sahi. Purpose of life is? We discussed this. And happiness comes not just from money, not just from relatives and friends. They are needed. They are needed. We are ordinary people. We need companion. We need friend. We need money. All these things. But the real happiness does not come from there. The real happiness comes when you know how to live in harmony with other people, how to live in harmony with nature. Do we know how to live in harmony with the nature? I don't think so. Do we know how to live harmoniously with other people? I don't think so. क्योंकि? क्यों? We don't know क्यों? Because we are selfish. I'm not saying you are bad, but we have this selfishness. It's almost like inborn quality. खुदगर्जी है. So when you have this selfishness, when you develop this narrow-mindedness, then immediately first thing that you do is make division. ये हिंदू है, ये मुसलमान है, ये काला है, ये पीला है, ये लाल है, रंग है. You know, you start discriminating. Discrimination shows your narrow-mindedness. ठीक है ना? Nature does not discriminate. Nature does not discriminate. For example, if there is an earthquake here, luckily you don't have earthquake, right? Do you have earthquakes here? Not. Sometimes maybe. For example, if there is an earthquake, when the earthquake comes and shakes people, will it say that I will only shake the Tibetans and not the Ladakhis? It will not discriminate. It will shake everybody. When the sun shines, it will never say, I will shine only to the women, not to the men. It shines everybody. Even though sun is shining equally for everybody, but whether you will get that sunlight or not depends upon how you have constructed your house. If you have constructed your house in such a way that your darwaja and khirki, everything is on the west side, or no, some other direction where you don't get sunlight, it's your mistake. It's not the mistake of the sun. Right? So you should have that receptivity, understanding the law of nature. Right? तो कल मैंने बोला था ना, there is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you into heaven. Similarly, there is nobody who will catch hold of your leg and drag you into hell. Your happiness and your suffering is in your hand. Do not cheat yourself. बस हो गया bodhicitta अवतार teaching. If you just remember this and practice it. At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the one person in the world with whom you have to spend the rest of life is who? Huh? What? Parents, wife, husband? No. Who? Yourself. This is the bitter truth. The one person with whom you have to spend the rest of your life is yourself. So therefore you need to take very good care of yourself. And when you don't know how to take good care of yourself, मरने के वक्त से पहले मर जाता है, बुढ़ापे होने के समय से पहले बुढ़ापे हो जाता है. क्यों? बिकॉज हम लोग गलत जगह में जा रहा है, गलत खाना खा रहा है, गलत सोच विचार उत्पन्न हो रहा है. So remember this clearly, much of the suffering that we are experiencing is primarily unnecessary suffering. Why I call this unnecessary suffering? Because if you had gained some insight, some knowledge, some awareness about the way things are, you don't have to suffer. If you had fine-tuned your way of thinking to the world outside, you don't have to suffer, or you have to suffer much less. अब क्या करेंगे? So it's not just ignorance. Number one, it's ignorance, but more importantly, inaction. सिर्फ अविद्या नहीं है, inaction. बहुत सारा आपको पता है, मैं यहाँ कुछ बकवास कर रहा हूँ, कुछ बोल रहा हूँ, थोड़ा कुछ फायदा होगा, ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं. आपको बहुत कुछ पता है, क्या करना क्या नहीं करना, पता है आपको, पता है कि नहीं है? बहुत सारा. I am not saying you know everything, but you know a lot of things that I should be doing this, I should not be doing this. But फिर भी होता क्या है? मुझे ये नहीं करना चाहिए, कर लेते हैं. मुझे ये करना चाहिए, नहीं कर रहा. जो करना चाहिए उसके बारे में आप क्या बोलेंगे? मुझे ये करना चाहिए, मुझे मेडिटेशन करना चाहिए, लेकिन अभी नहीं. अभी नहीं. फिर कब? जब मेरा प्राइस सारा खत्म हो जाएगा तब. अभी तो मैं थोड़ा सोना है, अभी नहीं करना है, बाद में. अभी मेरा मूड नहीं है. तेरा मूड बकवास मूड है ना. तो इसलिए अब कल करे सो आज, आज करे सो अब बोलता है ना. कल करे सो आज, आज करे सो अब. ये किसका है? कबीर का है ना. कबीर का पता है? हाँ, ठीक है ना. तो आपके हाथ में है. The Buddha himself said, I have shown you the path to liberation. Liberation is up to you. He never said, you just have faith in me and boom, I'll give you enlightenment. स्कूल में भी ये होता है. गुरुजी लोग बोलते हैं कि ये कुछ पढ़ाया, फिर बोलता है कि ये होमवर्क करके आओ. होमवर्क गुरुजी थोड़ी करेगा, आपने करना है ना. अगर होमवर्क आपने नहीं किया तो फिर फेल हो जाओगे. So therefore, what you really need to do in life is, number one, you should really be happy all the time. क्यों? कौन सा खजाना मिल गया आपको इतना खुश हो रहा है? Why should you be happy all the time? You should be happy because you are a human being, not a donkey, not mosquito. Mosquito nahi hai na. You're a human being. And not only a human being, but you have all the faculties intact. Intact. And you have received blessings of His Holiness and many other teachers. And you have this great opportunity to study such texts like Shantideva's Bodhicitta. सोच भी नहीं सकता. I must have read this maybe at least 15, 20 times, at least. कोविड-19 के समय में तो मैंने पूरा जितना भी दिन कमरे में था 4-5 बड़े बड़े बोधिचर्य अवतार निकाल के इसमें क्या लिखा, ये क्या लिखा, इसका मतलब क्या, सब देख करके मैंने पूरा पढ़ा। पढ़ तो लिया लेकिन सुधारना बहुत मुश्किल है, फिर भूल जाता है, बार बार करना पड़ता है, बार बार क्यों करना पड़ता है? Long, many years before, during one of my talks, somebody asked me, the teachers, they give empowerment, initiation. And then after that, they give a commitment saying that you need to do this 6-session Guru Yoga 6 times a day, 3 times in the day, 3 times in the night. Why you have to do this 3 times in a day, 3 times in the night? मुझे उसका उत्तर ठीक से नहीं मिला। मैंने बाद में फिर मैंने सोचा मुझे अभी उत्तर है मेरा। Now if you ask me this question, then I'll tell you, okay, how many times you eat? For your body, how many times you eat? ब्रेकफास्ट तो है ना जरूर, लंच भी है ना, डिनर भी है ना, बीच में चाय चुए भी है ना, और किट और बहुत सारे लोग दे में भी निबलिंग समथिंग, तो इस शरीर के लिए कितना बार खिलाना पड़ता है, लेकिन बेचारा इस मन के लिए क्या खिलाया आपने? नाश्ता दिया, आज सवेरे नाश्ता, आज तो गेशे कुंजों में मेडिटेशन वगैरह सब, थोड़ा ये नाश्ता सोच लो मिल गया। I'm talking in your regular life, not just during the teaching session, in your regular life. How many times you meditate? How many times you think about love and compassion? जरूर करना आपने। क्यों? Because feeding your mind is more important than feeding your body. To feed the body, there are a lot of things available in the market, everywhere. The people will also give you material things. Spiritual का ज़्यादा देने वाला नहीं है. We are living in a very strange world. जो करना चाहिए वो नहीं करता है, जो नहीं करना चाहिए वही कर रहा है, ठीक है ना? So physical needs, there are so many things. And because there are so many things coming and flooding in the market, अभी हमको इतना भी पता नहीं कि हमने क्या खाना है क्या नहीं खाना है. What's coming in the market, from the external look, they look so good, The fruit juice, for example, packed nicely with a picture of a mango or orange or whatever, looked nicely. But inside, it's basically rotten. It will not smell because they put chemicals and other things. But use your common sense. ये fruit juice कब बनाया? कहाँ से बनाया? उधर कितना दिन रहा? उधर से ले में ट्रांसपोर्ट करने के लिए कितना समय लगा? ले में एक मार्केट में एक दुकान में तुरंत तो सब नहीं बिक जाएगा ना, कितना दिन वहां रहा होगा? यूज योर कॉमन सेंस. I hope I'm not trying to turn the clock back, but this is my thinking. So therefore, I hardly drink. Forget about Coca-Cola, उधर में छूता भी नहीं. और सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक ज़्यादातर में बिल्कुल मैंने कसम नहीं खाया, क्योंकि कभी कभी कोई जिद करता है तो थोड़ा कोई मुझे थोड़ी मर जाएगा, हमें दुनिया पी रहा है ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी मैं सिर्फ नहीं बोल रहा, मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ. Because what is sold in the market, they look very nice from outside. Inside, because these business people, they know that I can easily cheat these people. They only go after appearances. बाहर का सुंदरता दिखेगा और कुछ नहीं दिखेगा. Marriage also appearance. वो लड़का कैसे लग रहा है, वो लड़की कैसे लग रहा है, लग रहा है मतलब बाहर कैसे देख रहा है वो. शॉपिंग जाओ वही. So we get lost in the appearance, and the appearances are deceptive. Appearance is not reality. So in your life, whatever you do, don't just rush after appearances. With teachers also, for example, some teachers they look very nice, and some teachers they look magnificent. They come with 20 attendants and come in a very fancy, car, things like. I'm not jealous of anybody. Okay, I'm just making a general statement. And then in reality, I don't know really. They preach humility, poverty. They themselves living in a very fancy house, driving fancy cars. I mean, yes, you are a special person. You deserve a little bit better, but not such a luxurious life. बोलना आसान है, करना मुश्किल है. तो इसी के पीछे हम लोग दौड़ते हैं. दुनिया कैसे करते हैं? गुरु भी जिसका शक्ल थोड़ा ठीक है उसके पीछे दौड़ता है सब. ये है दुनिया. और गुरु क्या करता है? गुरु भी जिसके पास पैसा है उसी को देखभाल करता है. ये है दुनिया आजकल. आई एम नॉट saying this with everybody. There are many like this. So whatever name, whatever look they come with, don't immediately get lost into it. Appearances are deceptive. जो देखता है वो होता नहीं, जो होता है वो देखता नहीं. So take time, right? And then look at the spirituality. I'm saying that you take more care of your mind than the body, because as I already mentioned yesterday, it is your mind that is controlling your life. It's not your body. Body बेचारा नौकर है क्या? ये मन बोले को इधर जाओ, जाना है बेचारा. हाँ, अभी तो अब you are all like looking like very comfortable, sitting nicely. बाहर से अंदर में क्या चल रहा है मुझे पता नहीं. अंदर में घर का जो सफाई नहीं किया उसके बारे में सोच रहा होगा. हाँ, और सोच रहा हूँ थोड़ी देर में अभी बकवास बहुत हो गया. थोड़ी देर में मैं उठ के चले जाऊंगा. एक बार सोचेगा, 2 बार सोचेगा, 3 बार सोचेगा, फिर इतना पावरफुल है कि the mind will make you go. मन ये चंचल मन बोलता है ना, मन. इसको काबू करना है हमने. काबू मतलब not with force. Your body can be controlled through force. If you're not listening, I can put you in the prison. वही करता है ना आजकल. माइंड को कैद नहीं कर सकता कोई भी आपका मन कैद नहीं कर सकता है. इसको फोर्स भी नहीं कर सकता है. The only way to convince the mind is tell the truth, tell the reason. ऐसा करना चाहिए क्योंकि ये आपको ये फायदा होगा, वो फायदा होगा. तब मन सुनता है. So therefore you need to feed your mind with spiritual practices. बार बार करना चाहिए तुमको. बार बार जितना तुम बार बार खाता है उसी तरह बार बार मन को भी कुछ खिलाना है. मन को क्या खिलाना है? Good way of thinking. And all these external material objects, you need to buy them. जितना शानदार चीज दुकान में रखा है वो आपको फ्री थोड़ी दे रहा हूँ. आ जाएगा, लेना पड़ता है ना, पैसा देना पड़ता है ना. तो इसी के लिए हम लोग गधे की तरह काम कर रहे हैं. चारों दिशा में हम लोग दौड़ रहे हैं, मेहनत करके पैसा कमाए. किसके लिए? इन चीजों को लेने के लिए, जिसमें इतना मेहनत करना पड़ता है, पैसा लगता है, उसके लिए आप पसीना बह करके दौड़ रहा है. और जो फ्री में आप कर सकता वो आप नहीं कर रहे. हवा फ्री है ना. थोड़ा क्या बोलता है वो, योगा करो, अनुलोम विलोम करो, नहीं करेगा. फ्री है. कंपैशन फ्री है, उत्पन्न नहीं करेगा आप बार बार बोलने से भी. There cannot be anything that is as good as compassion, love, wisdom. ये सब फ्री है. They are not trademarked for sale. Yes, in a way, it's trademarked by Buddha, meaning that these are the best commodities available in the world today. But उसमें हमारा ज़्यादा दिलचस्पी नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि उसको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है. हम उसी के पीछे दौड़ रहे हैं जो दिखाई दे रहा है ना. जो दिखाई दे रहा है उसको यहाँ छोड़ के जाना है. जो दिखाई नहीं दे रहा उधर तुमको जाना है, उसका प्रिपरेशन होना है. So therefore, as I was saying, you can make your life very happy with right attitude. Don't just keep on blaming. ये भी नहीं है, वो भी नहीं है, मेरे से नहीं होगा, ये होगा. अपने आप को नीचा करके ऐसे नहीं बैठना है. और आपने जितना दुनिया में बड़े बड़े लोग हैं, उनका नकल भी नहीं करना तुमने. तुमको क्या चाहिए? सोने के लिए जगह चाहिए, खाने के लिए खाना चाहिए, तो थोड़ा कुछ ऐसे बेसिक नेसेसरी वो तो आपको जरूर चाहिए. उसके अलावा और तरह की कर सकते हो तो करो, नहीं होगा तो कोई बात नहीं, तुमको कोई बात नहीं है. जितना भी तुम बटोरेगा ना, वो यह नहीं चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं ले सकते तुम. एक सुई नहीं ले सकता मरते वक्त. तो जरूरत से ज्यादा, बुद्धिज्म में बोलते हैं, जरूरत से ज्यादा तो आपके पास है वो चोरी का माल है बोलता है. Strictly speaking, if you are keeping things especially which you are not using, it's like stolen object, almost like that, है ना. तो इसलिए क्या करना चाहिए आपको? शरीर को चंगा रखो, मन को हाँ, जैसे मैंने बोला उसी तरह बोलो ना. शरीर को चंगा रखो, मन को चंगा रखो. बस ठीक है ना. So this is like almost like little introductory statement. I know many of you want to engage in discussion and talk, which we'll do. But because this is named as a bodhicitta avatar retreat, so I need to read it a little bit also. Right? Otherwise, I know, this morning I was also thinking, and it has been my experience for a long time, depending upon people's level, it should be tailored in such a way. Like, for example, next time you conduct a retreat like this, then depending upon the people, just choose a small subject, not big subject. I mean, I'm not saying this one is not good. This is good in its own way. But my experience is to really make people understand, उसमें ज़्यादा बोलने से कुछ फायदा नहीं होता है. जैसे कि मैंने कल बोला था, अगर आपको प्यास लग गया तो पानी पीना चाहिए ना, पूरा समुद्र पीने की जरूरत नहीं है. उसी तरह जितना भी तूने पढ़ा वो आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. उसको फिर then also I was thinking, Rashila, you can think about this. I'm sure you may be doing all this because you've been doing so many great work so many times. Kabhi when you distribute texts like this, you should also distribute like 10, 15, 20 Buddhist terms. Bodhicitta explanation, compassion explanation. Because many are completely new to these terminologies. So if you become familiar with these terms, then when you read the text, oh, this I know, it will be much easier. Right? Right? Okay. So I'll do my duty. Okay, so then let us read chapter 3. Full acceptance of the awakening mind. Acceptance, I don't know whether the right word or not, but it's basically saying full cultivation of awakening mind. Gladly do I rejoice in the virtue that relieves the misery of all those in unfortunate states and that places those with suffering in happiness. देखो इसको हिंदी में आप अनुवाद करो तो मुझे तो उसी में खुशी है जहाँ दूसरों का दर्द या दुख कम हो और जो खुशी से बैठा हुआ है, ठीक है ना? Second, I rejoice in the gathering of virtue. Rejoice का मतलब है कि rejoice out of the seven limb practice. Seven branch practice. Rejoice comes in the seven branch practice. So rejoice means when you yourself do something good, when you see others do something good, rejoice. लेकिन हम लोग ज़्यादातर rejoice नहीं करते. When I see somebody doing something good, and somebody says, this girl is so good, she's doing this, then instead of rejoicing, I might say, yeah, she may be doing this, but मुझे और भी इसका कहानी पता है. इतना बदमाशी हम लोग है ना, ये कभी नहीं बोलना चाहिए. No, number one, no one is perfect. So right now we are talking about the good things done by that person. When you, even your enemy, if you hear your enemy or the person who you don't like, if somebody comes to you, somebody who is friend of that enemy comes to you and says that that person has done such thing good, and that person is actually your enemy, but still you should say, oh, wonderful, wonderful. Don't say maybe because you don't like that person. Oh, kabhi nahi bolna chahiye. And especially ordinary people. If Buddhas are doing good things, not so surprising because they are perfect. The ordinary people, like for example, when small kids, they first learn ABCD and then able to say ABCD, the parents feel so happy. Wow, she is able to read. Usi tarah, when somebody is really doing something good, we should pat in the back and say, really good, wonderful. Because you are becoming very precious by doing good things. And you should be happy. You should be happy that somebody is really trying to be good. And you should support that person financially or just inspiration or whatever. That's how the society grows. But if you develop jealousy all the time, इसके पास ये है, मुझे इसके पास एक बहुत सुंदर सरी है, मुझे भी वो सरी खरीदना है. Things which are not so important, you like to have that. अब कोई नहीं बोलेगा this person is practicing bodhicitta, I should also practice, और नहीं बोलेगा ज़्यादातर. This is the trend of our mind. So rejoice. Rejoice is such a good practice. वो कर रहा है, अच्छा अच्छा कर रहा है. तुम यहाँ सो रहा है, सो के तुम बोल सकते हो बहुत अच्छा है. अब कुछ नहीं कर रहे, बहुत अच्छा है, उसका आपको पुण्य मिलेगा. Right? So rejoicing. Sometimes when you do something, then at the end of the retreat, rejoicing. That means there you can a little bit singing, dancing also you can do. This is really like you've done something good. So now you deserve to enjoy and celebrate. Rejoicing. I rejoice in the gathering of virtue that is the cause of Arhat's awakening. I rejoice in the definite freedom of embodied creatures from the miseries of cyclic existence. Right? And I rejoice in the awakening of the Buddhas and also in the spiritual levels of their sons. And with gladness, I rejoice in the ocean of virtue from developing an awakening mind that wishes all beings to be happy, as well as in the deeds that bring them benefit. So that is rejoicing. So the next branch is the branch of requesting the enlightened beings to teach, to turn the wheel of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions, to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered miseries, gloom. And especially this requesting the teachers to give the teaching is important. Because among the teachers there are two types. One, teaching उसका profession है. बिन बुलाए मेहमान वो आ जाएगा. So they are teachers. I mean, not necessarily bad. Some may be good motivation, but some with different motivation. Without being invited, they go everywhere, and they proclaim themselves as great teachers and give teaching. But the real good teachers, they are not interested in teaching. They have to be invited, right? Otherwise, they have plenty of things with them to do, to practice, whatever. So it's important to request for teaching, right? With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for bewildered miseries gloom. That means teaching is needed because sentient beings are just completely lost in the darkness of confusion. That's what he's saying. बेचारा सभी लोग जो है कुछ पता नहीं है, खोया हुआ है, खोया हुआ है, खोए खोए घूम रहा है, खोए खोए काम कर रहा है, नींद में जा रहा है, तो इसलिए इनको जगाना है. That's what he's saying. Next is the branch of requesting the Buddhas not to pass away. And that's why we make many long life prayers to His Holiness Dalai Lama and other great teachers. Once I was giving a teaching in Switzerland and somebody asked me the question, how does this work? People make a request, then the Lama pretend that, yes, I will live long. How does this work? Is this just another little bit like politics or pakhanti hai ki ya isme bhi matlab hai? Pucha tha. It's a right question. Right question. So how does this work? In the case of highly enlightened beings, yes, they have control. How long they are going to stay depends upon how much interest is there among the people to Dharma. If people are really interested in the Dharma, then they feel, yes, my being here is useful, so I will stay as long as possible. And on top of that, if people make requests, please stay as long as possible, that inspires them. Yes, there is a need for me. Just like His Holiness Dalai Lama said. He's now 91, still saying I will live up to 130 years or so. Because he knows so many people get inspired by him. I mean, even at this ripe old age, when he cannot give an elaborate teaching, I have seen almost every day, he's seeing hundreds of people. Every day, I'm saying every day. And many people get completely changed and transformed, you see. So such teachers we need to request. Then there are other teachers who may have no control, who may not be good teacher, but they have their followers. so they make the request. So I have nothing to say about that. Right? But it is like this. For example, let us give the example of a husband and wife, a family. So in that family, the housewife mostly remains in the home. The husband goes to work, 9 to 5 work. Now let us say the wife and the husband are not going along with each other nicely. ठीक है ना? Not much harmony. As a result of not in harmony, what does the husband do? His job is 9 to 5, but even after 5, when he finishes, he will not come straight to the home. उधर गप्पे मार के बैठेगा बाजार में, गप्पे मार के बैठेगा या दारू पी सकता है, जो भी कर सकता है करके बहुत देर से आएगा घर में, फिर झूठ बोलेगा मेरा दोस्त मिल गया, मुझे काम निकाला, कुछ भी निकाला नहीं, कुछ भी मिला नहीं, ऐसे घूम रहा है, क्योंकि घर आना नहीं चाहता वो, because he doesn't, he's not in harmony with the wife. फिर क्या होता है? इस तरह का जिंदगी जीने से उनका जो आयु है वो भी कम हो जाता है, because they are not happy. Wife is not happy, husband is not happy. But contrarily, if they are living in harmony, then as soon as the work finishes, the husband will quickly come home. My sweet wife is waiting for me. My sweet kids are waiting for me. Dekho. And wife also waiting with a nice cup of tea, whatever, ready. Yeah, कितना सुंदर है, जीवन सुंदर है ना? So like that, when the people are not doing what the Lama says, not practicing, then the Lama also says, there's not much use for me to stay here. His Holiness also said a few times earlier, sometimes when he's a little bit off because of it from the people, he said, no, you need to behave properly. Otherwise, there's not much need for me to stay here. कई बार उनको भी ऐसे बोलना पड़ा. This is how it works. ठीक है? Long life. With folded hands, I beseech the conquerors who wish to pass away to please remain for countless eons, not to leave the world in darkness. If such an enlightened person goes, then the world is really in darkness. So from there, you should also learn that in your case also, you should develop this aspiration to live healthy and lead a long life. ऐसा कभी भी नहीं सोचना अब यहाँ जी के क्या फायदा है. कई लोग ऐसे निराश हो जाता है ना. इसका मैं एक कहानी सुनाता हूँ आपको. The famous Russian writer Leo Tolstoy. Have you heard about Leo Tolstoy? Huh? You heard about it? So he was a very famous writer and he's written many books and had many like fans and followers. But as soon as he started getting old, his fame started declining. Unfortunately, these things happen. Then less people come to see him. ये होता है दुनिया में. दूसरों पर ज़्यादा निर्भर करने से ऐसा ही होता है. तो वो हो रहा था उसके साथ. And he used to go with a gun to hunt rabbit. In the West, in other countries, many people, they have their hobby like hunting rabbits and things like that. And now, since not many people are praising him or following him, he was kind of sinking into depression. क्योंकि उसको आदत बन गया था. People surrounded by people praising him, हल्ला बल्ला. अब वो नहीं हो रहा तो फिर meditation तो उसने सिखाई नहीं होगा शायद. So there's the problem in the world today. People don't know how to live alone and also don't know how to live with others. दो में से एक तो अच्छा होना चाहिए ना आपको. या तो अब अकेला जीना सीखो या तो दूसरों के साथ जीना सीखो. So many people, they don't know how to live alone. ये बीमार है. There is a sickness. During COVID-19, many people, especially in the West, many young people committed suicide. Because before COVID-19, every day they eat outside in the dinner, they have like socializing, dancing, वही तो इनका जीवन है. अब तुरंत ये सब बंद कर दिया तो उसको जीना नहीं आता अकेला. Commit suicide, you see. So horrible. So you need to learn to live with others and also learn to live alone. I told you my experience also. Geshe, do you live alone? I told you yesterday. Right? So you need to learn to live alone. Right? So therefore, what I was saying is, you should really take good care of yourself and plan to live a long, healthy life so that you can benefit many, many people and you can inspire many, many younger generation. Younger generation. Younger generation कौन है? We constantly talk about taking care of younger generation, but or the future generation. Who are the future generation? So the question is, do you want to take care of the future generation? Especially if I ask this question to the parents. If you don't want to take care of future generation, don't produce children. If you have produced children, you need to take care of them. Right? And especially Even a small person like me, because of my age, I've started thinking, मैंने इस दुनिया में मुझे क्या मिला, क्या छोड़ के जाएगा, मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं, खाली हाथ आया, खाली हाथ जाएगा. But I've started thinking about that. So the thing that I'm going to leave for the younger generation is the little bit wisdom, little bit experience that I learned in my life, which I thought is really, really imperative, very, very important. I need to share this to you. You need to share this to the younger generation so that they have a very successful, meaningful life. And if I'm able to do that, then my death is not death. I'm still living in you. I'm still living. Even if you live, that's the only thing that you can do. Now you can live by passing that experience, that wisdom to the next generation. That's your objective. So bodhisattvas and Buddhas, they are not concerned about whether they are living or not living. They are concerned about how that wisdom, that compassion, that source of happiness continues for many, many lives to come. So that's why their prayer is, as long as the space remains, as long as the suffering of sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel their suffering. देखो, इसको बोलता है बड़प्पन. मुझे क्या होगा, मैं क्या होगा, ये नहीं है इसमें. Right? So that's the thing. So therefore, next is the branch of dedicating all the virtues that you did to benefit others. Thus, by the virtue I collected through all that I have done, may the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor of the medicine, and may I be nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. May a rain of food and drink descend to clear away the pain of thirst and hunger, and during the aeon of famine, may I myself change into food and drink. I mean, amazing thinking. You know, you're thinking, your concern is how can I help these people in any way possible? Amazing, really. May I become the inexhaustible treasure for those who are poor and destitute. May I turn into all things they could need, and may this be placed close beside them. Right? Next is the actual mind training. No, the next verse. Actual mind training. So mind training is, without any sense of loss, I shall give my body and enjoyments, as well as all my virtues of the three times, for the sake of benefiting all. Mind training. Why you should train your mind in such a way? Right? Why should you train your mind in such a reason? So next verse is putting forth the reason. By giving up all, sorrow is transcended. ज्यादातर पाने से नहीं होता है, खोने से. The Buddha used to say, I am very happy because I have nothing. हम लोग तो बोलेंगे ना, I am suffering because I have nothing. है ना? एक मैं अब छोटा सा कहानी बताता हूँ. There was one person who had owned a cow. उसके पास एक गाय था. So this man was leading the cow with a rope. So when that man is leading the cow, when I say leading the cow, who is leading who? Is leading the man or man is leading the cow? Huh? Obviously, as I also said, man is leading the cow. That's what we think. अब ठीक से आप सुन लेना. If suddenly somebody comes and breaks the rope, फिर क्या होगा? हाँ? What will happen? Because वो आदमी जबरदस्ती उसको खींच रहा था काऊ को, किसी ने आके उसको तोड़ दिया रस्सी को, फिर क्या होगा? हाँ? काऊ क्या? काऊ will run away because वो जबरदस्ती खींच रहा था ना, फिर काऊ will run away. फिर क्या होगा? हाँ? क्या? What? When that rope is broken, the cow will run away. When the cow runs away, the man will run after the cow. Now who is leading? Yeah. So the relationship, things that you have, you thought I am the one who owns it, I am the one who controls it, but actually you are controlled by those belongings. उसके पीछे दौड़ना भागना पड़ता है. पैसा होने से दुख है, पैसा होने से फिर कहाँ रखना है? घर में रखूं, बैंक में रखूं, बैंक में रखेगा तो कितना ब्याज मिल रहा है, इनकम टैक्स तो नहीं पड़ जाएगा, right? That is the thing. So by giving up all sorrow is transcended, and my mind will realize the sorrowless state. It is best that I give everything to all beings in the same way as shall I at death. लेकिन कल मैंने वो भी बताया था ना, अभी आपका वक्त नहीं आया है, सब कुछ छोड़ेगा तो अब मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Okay? Especially giving up your body. Next verse, especially giving up your body. Having given the body up for the pleasures of all living beings by killing, abusing, and beating it, may they always do as please. Although they may play with my body and make it a source of jest and blame, because I have given it up to them, what is the use of holding it dear? Now the important thing is the next verse. The first two verses are saying that let people use my body in any way they want. थोड़ा पागलपन जैसे लग रहा है ना? तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि जो मनमानी करना करो. तो इसलिए the next verse says, therefore I shall let them do anything to it that does not cause them any harm, or that does not cause any unnecessary harm to you also. And when anyone encounters me, may it never be meaningless for me. So that's why Buddha is called meaningful to behold. देखने से मजा आ जाता है. इस होलीनेस को देखने से हम लोग शांति मिलता है. उसी तरह you should also be meaningful to behold. कई लोगों को देखने से ही क्या हो जाता है? देखने से ही देखकर हम लोग डर जाता है. भाई उधर मत जाओ, वो ऐसे देख रहा है, देखो उधर मत, ठीक है ना? So meaningful to behold. If in those who encounter me a faithful or an angry thought arises, may that eternally become a source for fulfilling all their wishes. May all who say bad things to me or cause me any other harm, and those who mock and insult me, have the fortune to fully awaken. अगर कोई आपको बोला आप कुत्ता है, आपको भौंकने की जरूरत है. If somebody says you're a dog, there's no need for you to bark. If somebody says you're a Buddha, you will not become Buddha. Somebody says you're a dog, you will not become dog. Right? So don't worry too much about what others say. And this is also saying that if you become overly sensitive to what other people say, what other people think, then it will be very difficult for you. So therefore this teaching is saying कि आप जीवन में कठपुतली मत बनो. कठपुतली पता है ना क्या है? हाँ, कठपुतली पपेट जैसा खींचा जाता है उसी तरह नाचना पड़ता है ना, ऐसा नहीं. You are not here. You are not here to try to suit the needs of other people all the time. अब नाचने के लिए यहाँ नहीं बुलाया, ठीक है ना. ये this is true that you need to help others to make them happy, but this doesn't mean you should unnecessarily dance at the tune of others. मैं इस तरह का कपड़ा पहनने से लोग क्या सोचेगा, ये मैं बोल रहा हूँ. This is what I'm saying. This is wrong. You need to take care of yourself. Other people are not going to take care of you. है ना. ऐसा चलने से मुझे कैसे होगा, कैट वॉक करने से. कैट वॉक बोलते हैं ना आज फैशन शो में, कैट वॉक. She is very good in doing the cat walk. और कैट वॉक जानवर की, जो जानवर जैसे जाता है. अरे क्या बकवास है यार, बेवकूफी का हद पार कर दिया. Really, this shows how stupid we are. Yeah. So therefore, you should not unless make sure that you don't unnecessarily hurt others. Otherwise, it's your life, not life of other people. There's no need for you to go everywhere thinking how people will look at me, how people will think about me. And that also not with the positive attitude, but negative attitude. So, then you should dedicate the fruit of your mind training for the benefit of others. May I be protector of those without one, guide for all travelers on the way. May I bridge a boat and a ship for all who wish to cross. I mean, this is such a powerful prayer. हमारे समाज में होता क्या है, जिसका कोई देखने वाला नहीं और उसका कोई नहीं दिखता है, उधर जाना चाहिए तुमको. जिसको कोई देखने वाला नहीं है, बेसहारा है, उनको इंस्पायर दे, हेल्प दे. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जिसके पास सब कुछ है उसके पीछे दौड़ता है. We keep on running after wealthy people, famous people. हाँ, माइकल जैक्सन का एक सिग्नेचर मिलने से भी बहुत खुश हो गया. एक बार मैं माइकल जैक्सन मिला था, देखो so happy already. They are saying, काश मैं भी वहां होता. माइकल जैक्सन गुरुजी मिलने आया था. गुरुजी treated him like his son, like this. वो बच्चे की तरह वहां बैठा, मैं भी वहां था, तो बहुत खुश हो जाता. अब आपको मिला मौका, फिर क्या मिला, वही तो है, प्लास्टिक सर्जरी करके बैठा हुआ. I mean, he has his talent, we must appreciate that, but there's nothing, I had so many of this Bollywood, Hollywood actors, they're like you and me. एक बार तो वो उधर जब बॉर्डर है जहाँ शूटिंग किया था ना लद्दाख में, बॉर्डर है ना, बॉर्डर, हाँ, उस वक्त तो 20-something actors and actresses were there. They all came to see His Holiness, and I was helping them meet His Holiness. किसी से भी मैंने फोटो नहीं लिया, दस्तखत नहीं लिया, जरूरत नहीं है. जो पर्दे पर आप देखता है ना, ऐसा नहीं है वो देखेगा तो. They all look like, some of you are better than them. ठीक है ना. और थ्री इडियट के लिए तो मैं बुलाया था एक्टिंग के लिए. I refused. I said I'm not trying. अभी मैं थोड़ा पछतावा हो रहा है. जब उस वक्त उधर गया होगा तो अभी कितना फेमस हो गया ना. So such things happen, But really, if you think carefully, there's nothing very special. So the more important thing is, as is spread here, may I be the protector for those without one. This line touched my heart. There are many people who are living alone, nobody is taking care of them, bechara. And especially there are people who are really like good people. बदमाशी शराबी होगा तो फिर ज्यादा हम नहीं कर सकता है ना, ऐसा नहीं है। कोई लोग ऐसे, एक दो ऐसे हैं, पेरेंट्स भी है, बच्चे भी हैं, उसका कोई सहारा नहीं है, दे वांट टू डू समथिंग. सो माय हार्ट रियली melts for these people. Help them. That's what he's saying. May I be protected for those without one. बहुत सारे हैं बेचारा. Guide for all travelers on the way. May I be a bridge, a boat, and a ship for all who wish to cross the water. May I be an island for those who seek one, and a lamp for those desiring light. May I be a bed for all who wish to rest. अभी चाहत बहुत है ना, कोई आराम से सोना चाहता है, उसको सोने नहीं देता है. चल हट, यहाँ नहीं बैठ सकता आप. And a slave for all who want a slave for all who want a slave. When you practice Buddhism, when you become what you say, Bodhisattva or Buddha, a Bodhisattva is not a ruler. Bodhisattva is not. If you permit me use this not so nice word, they're helper. ये होना चाहिए हमारा. When you are all very smart, good young people, so gradually with your education you will get different posts. Some of you might become like administrators, some of you might become DC or whatever. So when you got this opportunity, then there's a great opportunity for you to help people. Corruption करने के लिए नहीं है वो मौका. That's why leaders are so important. So important. People who have power, they are so important. Those who don't have power, they want to do so many things, but बेचारा क्या करेंगे? उसके पास शक्ति नहीं, पावर नहीं, पैसा नहीं, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Right? So therefore, the reason that Flowering Dharma is organizing this kind of retreat is also with the hope that many of you become good person and take care of many others. It's very, very important. Very, very important. May I become a wishing jewel, a magic vase, powerful mantras and great medicine. May I become a wish-fulfilling tree and a cow of plenty for the world. अब ये है ना, एक शब्द यहाँ है ना, great medicine, because we all use medicine. There also some of you should really study what kind of medicine is really needed for people, what are not needed. Unfortunately, these days, most of the medicines, they are for business also. So many different types of medicines. Some of them are like not properly checked and sold openly in the market, and which will be very, very harmful to you. So in your case, what you need to do is you should lead your life in such a way so that you don't get sick. ये आपका प्रथम जिम्मेवार है. Make sure you don't get sick. Remain healthy and don't get sick. And you can do that. गलत खाना नहीं खाने से, and then do some exercise, you will remain healthy. In my case also, I'm an example. I'm not good in doing exercise and things like that, but I have good control over the diet, food, what I eat. As I said, I don't eat any of these different types of useless masalas and all these soft drinks. And then haldi powder, ginger, these things are medicinal, so I use it. Others I don't use it. And I'm 74 right now. But still okay, right? Looks good, huh? So this is my example, you see. And then I really think that because of studying Buddhism a little bit, that also has, I think, made some impact in my life. Because whenever there is a problem, I'm able to think, ऐसे तो होता है, ऐसे तो होता रहता है. ठीक है ना? Right? So make sure you don't get sick. मुझे चॉकलेट बहुत पसंद है, बोल के चॉकलेट ही खाते रहो, फिर बीमार हो जाओगे. ठीक है ना? And then the next one is so powerful. Just like space and the great elements such as earth may always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. So these are some like teachings inspiring you to cultivate bodhicitta. So next two verses are actually cultivation of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta you can cultivate in front of a teacher, and also you can cultivate in front of, if teachers are not available, you can cultivate it in front of some holy statues also. So these two lines you can recite, and whenever you feel like, you can cultivate it. So today I'm not a special teacher. I'm not giving any blessing or anything like that, but only helping you, to get this inspiration. So I felt like doing this together, right? So can you stand up now? Stand up, थोड़ा relax हो गया. Now sit in a kneeling position. And then repeat this verse together 3 times. You have the book, so recite this together. Just as the previous Buddhas give birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind. And likewise, shall I too successively follow the practices. Just as the previous Sugatas give birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind. And likewise, shall I too successively follow the practices. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the practice. Thank you. Sit down. I mean, this is an amazing opportunity. And I've explained to you earlier that bodhicitta is a mind wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, which you have cultivated right now. Okay? Now, having cultivated that mind of bodhicitta, that altruistic mind, you should rejoice. You should embrace the spirit of your mind, as is said in verse 24, in order to further increase it from now on. Those with discernment who have lucidly seized awakening mind in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Kaise? Today my love has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I have been born in the family of Buddha, and now am one of the Buddha's child. Not just son, child, women being, right? So look at this. Today my love has become fruitful. Not only I have obtained this precious human life, but I am now born in the lineage of the Buddha. Born in the lineage of Buddha means you have cultivated this mind of Bodhisattva, bodhicitta, right? So now I have become their children. So that means if you are the child of a Buddha, then you should do something that is befitting the name of the Buddha. So that's what is said in the next verse. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on, cultivating bodhicitta is easy, but practicing is difficult. So therefore, now you have to make this commitment, saying that, thus, whatever actions I do from now must be in accord with the family. The family means the family of the Buddha. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. I mean, getting such an opportunity is unthinkable. This is said in the next verse 27. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise, by some coincidence, or maybe because of past life karma, today an awakening mind has been born within me. This bodhicitta is so important because it is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure. Inexhaustible treasure means जो ordinary money जो है जितना भी आप होने से वो घट जाता है, लेकिन bodhicitta खत्म नहीं होता है. And I mentioned, yesterday that all these inner qualities, they are inexhaustible. हमेशा आपके साथ रहता है, खत्म नहीं होता है. बाहर की चीज जितना भी है खत्म हो जाता है, ठीक है ना? That eliminates all poverty in the world. The poverty, the so-called poverty in the world today is not poverty or shortage of material things. सामान बहुत है, करोड़ों नहीं, इसलिए सबको ठीक से बांटा नहीं जाता है, सबको नहीं मिलता है. So the poverty is the poverty of mind, not material objects. It is the supreme medicine that cures the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings, wandering and tired in the path of conditioned existence. देखो, यहाँ देखो, बोलता है ना, wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. संसार में हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, मैं थक गया, बेचारा क्या करें, काम करते करते थक गया, मेरा दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा है. कई लोग दिमाग काम नहीं, कई लोग जब ओवर थिंकिंग कर रहे हैं, हाँ, क्या करना है पता नहीं है, वो सारा बीमार जो है वो दूर हो जाएंगे bodhicitta से. So many people ask, I've seen a number of people asking His Holiness question, His Holiness, I can't stop thinking. है ना? His Holiness answers, when you think, you should use reason. जो reason नहीं उसके बारे में मत सोचो. And one answer here is bodhicitta. That means if you think less about yourself, more about others, then all this depression, loneliness, they will all go away. Okay? It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of world. For all, it is the quintessential butter from the chant of the milk of Dharma. Matlab, when you chant the milk, you get buttered lamp, right? Butter. Similarly, if you chant all the teachings, the butter-like thing that you will get is bodhicitta, essence of all the teachings. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless boundaries of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods and anti-gods, not anti-gods actually, this should be demigods. भगवान के खिलाफ खड़ा हो, anti-god, demigods and all the joyful. So now saying, because since I've cultivated bodhicitta, now please I invite all of you. I'm going to help all of you. That's what you are saying. From the Bodhisattva's way of life, this is chapter 3, full cultivation of awakening mind. Question answers.
So yesterday, so I'm having a question regarding this for a long time. Yesterday you said that we all are here uh, because of our past life experiences, because of our karma that we have done in our past life, right? So in that sense, just imagine that a person doesn't do good deeds in their past life, and then they don't even get the chance of practice all this Buddha Dharma and all the practices. So then he'll be trapped in a cycle, the vicious cycle that can never be broken. In the next life, he'll be born again, and just because he don't do a good thing in this life, he'll be not getting the chance of studying all these things. And then again, he'll be coming to the start position, and then he'll be trapped in an endless trap where he cannot escape from it.
Absolutely.
So, in that way, how can we be so sure that if says that if I'm born in another religion, I don't even get the chance of studying all this, and then how do I know that I'm trapped in the kind of cycle? And then even in that way, we might not even able to find a way to get away from this because we are in this endless loop. And it seems that we might not never ever able to break this kind of cycle. So I want to know that is there a way to break this kind of a vicious cycle?
I'll give you an example. If this vicious circle you will not only experience from life to life, in this very life also, if you continue to do all the bad things, उसी में फंस जाओगे आप. Take that an example. अब दारू पीना बंद मत करो, नशा करना बंद मत करो, उसी में तुम गिरते जाओगे. This is an example. On the other hand, if you stop using drugs or drinking or smoking and other bad habits, if you reduce them, you'll become better. You'll become better. Right?
Drinking, drugs, and all this might also be a result of our past.
So whatever be the case, वो तो सजा ही है ना. Well, it may be because of this life's action, it may be due to past life action, but the thing is, अब गिर रहा है ना नीचे. फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि इसका cause past life में है, इस जीवन में गिर तो रहा है ना तुम. That's the meaning of Dharma. छह से ना रंग मोहब्बत जिम्मा Dharma धारण करे तो Dharma. Dharma is something which will help you not to fall down. And if you don't practice that, you will fall down. By this, I'm not saying that only Buddhists will be get liberated, all other religious people will not. I'm not saying that. I'm only saying this is what the Buddha taught, right? And then it is for the rest of the people to think what they want to do. ठीक है ना? इतना हम सबको पता चल रहा है ना कि तुम गलत काम करेगा तो गिरते ही जाओगे बस. इस जीवन में भी, अगले जीवन में भी. This is not very difficult. You can see. You can see.
So, Gisela, you are saying that we can break this cycle, right?
Of course. अभी मैंने आपको दिया था ना example. And then another important thing is, for example, there are people who are not able to get access to Buddhist teaching. Forget about human beings. Animals who can't access the teaching. Birds, animals, they don't have access to this teaching. So therefore, it's very difficult for them to get liberated on the one hand, but on the other hand, we are not talking about one life, we are talking about many lives. And in many lives, you have done many bad things also, many good things also. तो ज्यों ज्यों समय आएंगे उसी के मुताबिक वो फल देना शुरू कर देगा. When the fruit for the bad things come, you born as an animal. When the fruit for the good things that you've done, you again born as a human being. ऐसा नहीं कि तुम फिर सिर्फ गिरते जाओगे, ऐसा नहीं. You've done so many things and you've left so many imprints, habits, positive habits, negative habits. And then they'll never get wasted with situations, surroundings, changes of life. Things change. And then sometimes you fall, sometimes you become better like that. But the hope is that we say all sentient beings have Buddha nature. That means they have the capacity to become better. Thank you. There is one here.
Hello, hello. Hello.
So I wanted to ask, like, in some gompas that I've visited some gompas, and in some of them, women are not allowed to enter a specific place. And why is that? Is it because like it's just a social myth or what?
Yeah, one notable in India became very famous. It came out in the newspaper, not letting women come in, yes. And in Buddhist, many Buddhist temples also, they have this practice. I don't know. I don't know. All habits die hard, you know. रीति रिवाज, कई रीति रिवाज तो तोड़ना चाहिए हम लोगों को. एक तो कई रीति रिवाज तोड़ना चाहिए, एक तो रीति रिवाज जहाँ तुमको आने नहीं देता वहाँ मत जाओ. क्यों जाना है तुमने? हम लोग बिल्कुल है ना, जहाँ मत जाओ बोलता करें मुझे यहाँ जाना है, मुझे मौका क्यों नहीं दे रहा है, मेल मिलूंगा इको, उधर तो बिल्कुल मत जाओ. डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हो रहा है तो मत जाओ. या तो you should get a good explanation from them, or you don't have to go there. Why should you go there?
I asked why women is not allowed. They always like have an answer like you are considered impure or something.
हाँ क्यों हाँ तुम मेरे कोख से जन्म नहीं हुआ पूछो उनको. I have all the answers. I mean अपने माँ को गली दे रहे हैं ना फिर. You are not pure. अब कौन सा pure है? So you need to be, you know, if they are letting you go, okay. If they are not letting you go, it's okay. Don't have to go there. Okay. बिल्कुल मत जाओ वहाँ फिर क्या होता है देखो फिर खुलेगा वो लोग. पता है मुझे सब. ये बिगी चूहे के खेल मुझे पता है. हाँ बिल्कुल.
Geshe, since we have said that it's because of the bad karmas that animals are because of the bad karma they have born in this animals realm.
Yes.
So can we say that in some cases that animals have more good karmas than human beings like us in few? Because I feel like animals they might not have received teachings. They might couldn't able to read or learn these things, but we as a humans, some cases is that even though we have all these facilities, we couldn't able to think and receive the teachings and do all these good things. Other than that, we have all this blues, eat naksum. We do's or we bad virtues. You know, we accumulate the bad virtues. We accumulate the negative deeds than the animals, because animals the only thing that they do is bark. They cannot gossip or they cannot say bad things to other animals or people. So is it the case we can say that some animals have good karmas than us, human beings?
So generally we say to be born in the life of animal is a result of negative karma. The reason you already mentioned very clear. They are not able to talk about bodhicitta, about love, about compassion. Many things they can't do, and the whole body life is so, insensitive. Because of this insensitivity, they are not able to plan or think too much. So that is a life not to be appreciated, of course. And it is because of this life people bully them. People kill them. People torture them. So from that perspective, you can clearly see it is not a very good life. But you can take examples from animals, as you mentioned. Not only animals. In Bodhicitta it says you should behave like a log of wood. लकड़ी की तरह बैठो. कोई गाली दे रहा है, कोई फर्क नहीं. कोई प्रशंसा कर रहा है, कोई फर्क नहीं. लकड़ी की तरह बैठो. So you can also say, live like an animal. Then you can also say. So you can take good examples. And then with the good examples, you can say that we are called the important human beings, but we are living a life worse than the animals. You can say that also. Animals are said to be a lower state of birth, but still many ways of our life are worse than animals. Because we misuse this intelligent human intelligence, as I said earlier. And because of this, we have this capacity to destroy the whole planet now. Now today, where the people live their life really looks like we are moving towards committing a global suicide. सांस लेने के लिए हवा भी ठीक नहीं है, पीने के लिए पानी भी ठीक नहीं है. Still we say, we are intelligent human beings. And we call ourselves the age of information. Information सब यहाँ है. But not realizing much of the information that you see, you get is junk information. जंक देख रहे हैं आप, कुछ नहीं. खाना भी जंक खा रहे हैं, जंक देख रहे हैं, क्या है फिर? कुछ नहीं आप. Corrupted. Now today we are talking about ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. Genuine intelligence को तो अब नहीं संभाल सका. अब artificial intelligence के विषय कर रहा है. And I'm not saying there is no use at all. Anything can be used in a positive way. But for me, it is taking more and more out of us. बाहर ChatGPT और artificial intelligence इस्तेमाल करके यहाँ बैठे Google की help से, ChatGPT की help से, buy a room in the Portal Appellations, sleep there, and pay money here. And then your stupid mind thinks you're staying in Portal Appellations. Illusion after illusion. Right? So therefore, we need to. So that's why I remember his always saying that sometimes, even when you see this like earthworm moving or insect helplessly moving, his always says, I feel like prostrating to them. Because in terms of their physical capacity, they really have nothing. Very big and very fragile. But they are not having anybody. Even earthworms are used. There are earthworm fields in America and other places where they produce manures. Human beings use it. So therefore, many Buddhist teachings, they say that today is the time to make a distinction between human beings and the animals. So are you a human being or animal? Animality is there, unfortunately. Yes, yeah, okay.
Geshe. So my question is, if any individual person do a good karma in present life, there is also a case in the end, there is something bad incident happened with them. Why is that so? There is a famous line saying in Hindi, अच्छे लोग के साथ बुरा ही होता है. So why is that so?
One, as I said, you have collected so many karmas, positive, negative karmas. Who is going to give the fruit today, tomorrow, together or separately? Nobody knows. इसलिए अच्छा भी होता है, बुरा भी होता है. उसका फल, उसका जो बीज, कई तरह का बीज तुमने बोया, उसी के फल आपको हो रहा है. You are experiencing that fruit. That's also possible. But then also, in the Buddhist teaching, it says, not everything is a result of karma. Many things are a result of condition, environment, situation. Because you drove recklessly, therefore you had accident, not because of karma. It's a temporary condition, temporary factor. Right? You cannot say, it's my karma, Why should I take care of my health? Jahan jana jao. Thodi बैठना है. Right? So karma has no notion of being fatalistic. We are tied to a incorrigible fate. That notion is not there. Karma means change. Karma of past life, karma of last life, karma of yesterday, karma that you committed this morning. So many of this karma you can change. Right? Okay? No.
Usually, Geshe
So also, let me give you another like short answer. कई लोग ऐसा होता है ना कि there is a line in the Buddha's teaching, Thiksey Sutra, where it says those people who do good, they will suffer and suffer terribly. Those people who do good things, they will suffer and suffer terribly. True? And those people who do great things, they seem like flourishing. Because those people who are doing good, they suffer terribly because they've almost finished all the negative things. The result of negative result of negative deeds are there, so they are finishing it, they suffer terribly, they are completely purified. And then there are those who have committed like very little positive things, right? They are completely overwhelmed by negative deeds. So they seem to be flourishing because they're now right now enjoying the few result of few good things they've done. Uske baad फिर just like a person who really don't have much money. There are people like who don't have much money, but they borrow money from other people from banks, and then they build a nice house, buy a car, and people think, oh, must be very rich. है कुछ नहीं उसके पास, सब borrowed है ना, बैंक में खाता नहीं उसका, something like that also. Yeah. Okay.
Geshe childhood or your parents forced you to.
Oh, this is a very interesting question. Thank you for asking this question. No, I'm a very special person. When I was born, many special omens, I'm sharing this to you for the first time. So when I say this, people listen with right attention. क्या हुआ? नहीं बोलता कि उधर से कुत्ता भौंकना शुरू कर दिया, इधर से. So I'm joking, I'm joking. But in the Tibetan society, probably same in Ladakh also, especially in those days, people really like very devoted. So anybody from any family becoming monk and nun is highly inspired. Oh, बहुत ऐसे करो तुम, गुरु बन जाओ. पैसा कुछ नहीं, फिर भी कोई बने, गुरु बन जाओ. So my parents also used to call me a monk when I was not monk. Monk. Then we lost our country. Then I joined a Tibetan school in Mount Abu. So while at that time I was like, I don't know, 10, 12 years old or something like that, quite young, quite small. Then I got this sad news from my home saying that my mother passed away. Then I was able to think a little bit at that time. Then I said, okay, my mother used to call me monk, now she passed away, so I should become a monk. I knew nothing about Dharma, And then, interestingly, my teachers, and one teacher who is really the source of inspiration is still alive, and he is the ex-throne holder of Dipung Tripa. I just saw him in January in South India. He's now 96 years old. But very healthy still. He does all the yoga exercise, 96. So he and there was other teachers who were really also inspiring me to become monk. So like that.
So last question, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Geshe, as you said, we should always praise those who do good deeds or good things. But what if a person who has always done something bad in the past
for once they decide to do something good. So should we forgive them and praise?
Absolutely. What you've done in the past is past. अभी आप सुधर रहा है, अच्छा बनना चाहते हैं, वेरी गुड. जो बुरा उसने किया उसके बारे में आप बोलना भी नहीं चाहिए. वेरी गुड.
Thank you.
हम लोग सब, we all do bad things. There's nobody who doesn't do anything bad. Right? So encourage. Never try to ostracize people from the society. The problem with the human beings is when somebody does something bad, everybody says, he's so bad. When somebody does something good, not many people supporting that, praising that. When somebody does something good, ये लड़की तो बहुत गंदा है, ये लड़का तो कभी सुधरेगा नहीं, because he or she has committed some minor mistakes. So that makes them get ostracized from the society. इस्लाम में एक कहानी है ना कि किसी लड़की को because of certain things they stone people to death, right? तो वो लोग वो करने जा रहा था, लड़की को वहां खड़ा किया था. फिर उधर एक उनका संत बैठा था. उस संत ने बोला कि पहला पत्थर वही मारना जिसने कभी गलत काम नहीं किया हो. एक भी नहीं था वहां गलत काम नहीं करने वाला, किसी ने भी पत्थर नहीं फेंका, बच गया. ये है ना. तो इसलिए हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि धर्म का प्रयास करने का मतलब है पहले अपने का जो you should find the fault of yourself. It's not your job to find fault of other people. Who are you to judge other people? है ना. Find your fault. Appreciate the good things done by others. And we do the opposite. We talk about oneself and try to bring down others. Namaskar. Stop here.